You might feel your heart racing and your mind spinning with worries about how to fix the situation. It's easy to lose focus and make sudden decisions when life becomes frantic. Robert Greene's approach suggests we can do the opposite. Instead of letting panic dictate our actions, we can slow everything down. The first step is to recognize we have more power over our emotions than we think. We can almost step outside ourselves for a moment and observe the chaos without getting swept away. By doing this, we create a space in our minds to think clearly. That little pause changes everything. If we rush forward in a blind panic, we only see the threats around us, not the opportunities hidden in the turmoil. But when we allow ourselves a brief moment of calm, we start noticing subtle details and patterns. We can then guide our choices rather than being pulled in every direction. Fear often makes us overreact to each problem as if it's the only thing that matters. You might believe you have to solve everything at once. Greene tells us that we need to break free from this urgency. By stepping back, we take a broader look at the situation. Picture yourself lifting your view from ground level to a higher vantage point. Up there, you see how problems connect, and you might even spot things you missed while you were in a rush. For example, you may realize there's a simple factor that, if addressed, will fix multiple issues at once. Or you might notice certain people or elements in the chaos are actually less pressing than you thought. This clarity allows you to avoid wasting energy and to focus on what's truly important. Chaos can feel overwhelming because it shakes our sense of certainty. It reminds us we aren't as in control of events as we assume. But Greene reminds us there is still something we can always control: our own mind. This is not about pretending problems don't exist. Instead, it's about saying to yourself, yes, this is difficult, but I don't have to let this difficulty decide my state of mind. By taking an inner position of calm, you no longer mirror the disorder around you. It's like holding steady in a storm while everything else is whipped by the wind. People who remain calm at such moments stand out. They radiate authority and pull others toward them. When everyone else is panicking, the calm individual becomes a beacon of level-headedness, and that influence alone can help bring order back to a chaotic environment. One part of Greene's thinking is the power of separating emotion from analysis. It's natural to feel stressed. That's part of being human. But instead of letting stress push you to act on impulse, you can try to transform it into a tool for deeper understanding. Step into your feelings for a moment and ask, why am I feeling this way? What exactly is causing it? This quick but focused reflection often uncovers the true root of the problem. Maybe you feel threatened in a new situation. Maybe you're worried about what others will think of you. Once you name the fear, it becomes less mysterious and less controlling. From there, you can look at the situation more objectively, noting details you might have ignored when you were on autopilot. Another important lesson is recognizing that chaos often stems from people, not just events. In moments of crisis, some individuals get defensive or shift blame. Others withdraw or freeze because the pressure is too much. Greene highlights the importance of understanding human nature during tense times. When people feel cornered, they'll sometimes act unpredictably. A coworker might lash out, or a friend might suddenly become distant. Try not to take these behaviors at face value or react blindly. Pause and consider their motives, their fears, or the hidden pressures on them. If you can see why people act as they do, you won't be so quick to get upset by their choices. Instead, you can approach them with empathy or remain cautious in a strategic way, depending on the situation. In periods of widespread turmoil, there's a common urge to find quick fixes. Greene emphasizes that quick solutions often come with problems of their own. Rushing a solution means you might overlook details. Take your time and test small steps before going all in. Ask questions. If I do this, will it really solve the main issue? Will there be side effects that might create more chaos? By keeping a calm, thoughtful approach, you're more likely to see the bigger picture. You also train yourself to expect surprises, good or bad, and adapt accordingly. When you're prepared for changes, you're less likely to be rattled or thrown off balance. Each decision you make comes from a place of poise, not panic. Greene also teaches that self-discipline in chaotic times earns you respect. When you show emotional steadiness, people see it as a sign of confidence and leadership. They feel safer when they sense you aren't easily rattled. To cultivate this discipline, set small tests for yourself in everyday life. If you face a minor inconvenience, like a frustrating delay or a mistake at work, practice remaining composed. Observe your reactions without judgment, then breathe and address the issue methodically. By getting used to handling small stressors, you build the habit of controlled behavior. Later, when real chaos hits, you'll be more prepared to manage the tension in a balanced way. Over time, this practice will condition your mind to treat even big crises with the same level of focus and emotional restraint. There's also an element of humility in Greene's method. Sometimes chaos exposes flaws in our plans or reveals that our strategy wasn't as strong as we believed. It can be tempting to get defensive or to blame others, but the better approach is to accept the possibility that you might have overlooked something. Own up to your share of the responsibility and use that experience to grow. This humility not only calms your own fear of failure, but also earns trust from those around you. By admitting what you could do better, you free yourself to actually do it, rather than staying stuck in pride. As a result, you transform moments of disorder into valuable lessons, which can sharpen your decision-making for the future. A crucial point is not allowing outside noise to fill your mind. In chaos, there are always rumors and guesses flying around. People might rush to share half-truths or assumptions because they're anxious or trying to protect themselves. Instead of joining the confusion, step back and verify information carefully. Try to find facts that are certain before moving forward. If the facts aren't available, don't pretend they are. Sit with the uncertainty until you get real data. That might feel uncomfortable, but acting on unreliable information usually leads to bigger mistakes. When you become the person who deals only with verified facts, you maintain a sense of calm rationality. This not only improves your decisions, but also builds your reputation as someone who thinks before speaking or acting. Finally, remember that chaos does not last forever. Even the most intense storm eventually passes. The chaos may return in another form, but each time it does, you can face it with more experience and insight. Robert Greene's method for immediate control is about recognizing you're the one who decides how to respond. While other forces in life can disrupt your routine, they can't force your mind to break unless you allow it. By practicing calm observation, thoughtful analysis, deliberate action, and a readiness to adapt, you set yourself apart as someone who doesn't bend easily under pressure. This is not about never feeling fear or stress. It's about harnessing that energy in a productive way, shaping it into awareness rather than blind reaction. You emerge stronger each time, more capable of leading yourself and others through the storm. In the end, staying cool in chaos is a skill we build through steady effort. Life will always surprise us, and there is no guaranteed path to avoid disorder. But Greene's approach shows us we can prepare our minds. We can learn to slow down, to watch our own reactions, to see the broader view, and to move forward with clear intent. This approach doesn't just help us survive the chaos, it positions us to thrive, finding moments of opportunity where others only see walls closing in. By embracing this method, we discover that control is less about managing the world and more about mastering the patterns of our own mind. That realization alone can bring a sense of stability, no matter how wild things get on the outside.